Welcome to Twisted Monday. We'll call it the season finale of Twisted Monday. Season 1 of Twisted Monday. That is not what I meant to press. We're off to a great start. Here on our big conclusion of Twisted Metal 2. And this, year and a month and change. Working on weekly full game playthroughs. So we've seen every single one of these characters except Outlaw 2. There she is. Gonna try and keep my cursor off screen, except when absolutely necessary. So I did have a previous run on the PC version where the cursor was visible the entire time. At least like half of it. Not sure that will happen again. Hopefully it doesn't. Hi, laughing to death. Glad someone showed up at the start time of one of these streams. Increasingly rare that happens, but people file in over the course of the next hour or so that it takes to beat this playthrough. Take a quick look at this again. As usual, Outlaw, solid all the way around. Reardice is here, and so is Alf. Thankfully. So Calypso broke Jamie Roberts' heart and disgraced her family by killing her brother, sending him into space, but she doesn't know that. Just made him disappear. She is gonna find out to where he has disappeared. Spoilers, it's space. She seems to know that. Don't worry, we'll get to that in the ending. But hey, this is the PC version. Lots of strange explosion effects. The fire looks totally different. A lot of the sprites are different. And oh boy, is it ever smooth. Smooth and clean edges. The way PlayStation textures were never meant to be seen. I played through this twice before, if I'm not mistaken. I want to say Mr. Grimm and Sweet Tooth got the PC version treatment. So it's quite the honor. Let's see how our special holds up on this version. Axel certainly felt it. I almost called Axel Alex. Don't know why. Never made that mistake before. Just saw it written out. My brain told me that guy's name is Alex. Alex Power. There he is. So proud of his new name. Go over here, Alex. So here's the big advantage of the PC version. Your shield lasts a ridiculously long time. Forever. Almost as long as it takes to regenerate the energy cost of using the shield. Therefore, you can basically be shielded forever. Yeah, Alex Power would make a good cohort for Duke Nukem. Right along the lines of Max Power. The man whose name you'd love to touch. Maybe I can get people with lightning. The lightning appears to be blue. Let's go invincible for a long time. And check out that blue lightning. Delicious. It's my favorite flavor of Mountain Dew. Blue lightning. So I don't care about this particular run. It's Outlaw. We've seen every run in this game. Just so much Twisted Metal 2. We know it inside and out. There won't be any surprises. Perfectly routine run. Having said that, we're suddenly going to get surprises somehow, but I doubt it. I'm not counting on it. I'm prepared for the worst. But I expect just the most bland run. I mean, Outlaw is one of the most bland characters in every game. It's very similar to Warthog here. Always very reliable, very solid, very bland. This incarnation of Outlaw might be the most fun one, besides the one in Twisted Metal Black, which is devastatingly powerful. But also not meaningfully Outlaw in any real way. That is a big SWAT van. Doesn't have Outlaw special or any of Outlaw's usual gimmicks. Hell yeah. Thank you for the support, Rear Dice. The move ended up costing much more than I expected. To the tune of thousands of dollars beyond what I budgeted for, and it's still happening. It's still fine. All this to say, I really appreciate the support. Holy shit, do I appreciate it. But we'll be fine. All's well. Barely. Hanging on by a thread. But I trust that thread. Moving is expensive, it turns out. So, gift subs are subscriptions where you get to use my channel-specific emotes and whatever else subscriptions do for you. I think it's like ad-free viewing, although you can disable that. I have not disabled that, because that's a sadistic thing to do. It's all the advantages of a full subscription given to you by a generous supporter. And it lasts for the duration of 1 month. I've exploded. There are no pickups here. I've used up everything available. So a small problem is if I game over before Paris, there's no safety save. There are only as many save slots as there are levels in the game minus Moscow. There's one too many levels for me to set up proper safety saves. So I do have to not get a game over between now and Paris, which is very reasonable to do. It's not even hard. But I'm disinclined to pay any attention or do any work right now. I've been hacking and still working at my job because I need to make as much money as humanly possible. Keeping up with the streams and editing. It's been devastatingly busy. You know, it's a big payoff when I'm done with it all. And at this point, it has to happen. Paid all sorts of deposits and what have you. So it's going down. We're almost done with it. Later this week, although the process is going to be so difficult and so lengthy, that's why we're going on hiatus. Evie Lunis, showing up. Glad to have you. So, we've got some people present. Glad to have each and every one of them, if I'm honest. And, yeah, we'll talk about, like, favorite moments from Twisted Monday. Like, personally, that I'm bringing that up now because Evie Lunis gave me fan art about a month ago. Minion-specific fan art, which was thrilling. I've got very, very, very little fan art over the extremely long time that I've been doing all these YouTube videos and whatnot. So anytime that happens, very exciting. Subscription re-upping from Evie Lunis. 3-month streak. Excellent. But like I said, the support was your presence and that cool artwork. Blast Irons here. So yeah, I really appreciated the fan art. Evie driving Minion. And I also got fan art significantly earlier from Pizzerado of a black goat with a spider set up a web between the horns. Which, weirdly enough, I hadn't even, like, shown anyone my persona, but that was the exact idea I had for my own persona. Which, yeah, I'm a furry. I don't make a big deal out of it. I don't think I'm technically in the closet. But I also never talk about it, so there you go. And yeah, both of my fan arts, blatantly furry. I thought that was neat. I have literally no weapons, and there's no weapons to acquire. That's why sometimes I hate this level. There's a weapon. Guess I'm gonna have to start using the minion special. There was never like a furry Twisted Metal ripoff. Big wasted opportunity. All the best furry shit was coming out in the 90s and early 2000s. I don't know why some of the lightning is blue. That's such a weird touch. I believe someone asked favorite version of Thumper. Thumper's never been a favorite of mine personally. Why is this thing exploding? Oh, the tractor beam got blown up. Really, Twisted Metal 1 and 2, Thumper is basically identical. In both instances, the special can instant kill just about anybody. Oh, I can't use lightning anymore because the tractor beam's gone. The tractor beam is normally responsible for the lightning. I can't kill anybody. They can sure kill me. That's one of the quirks about the PC version. No actual, well, the respawn rate for all the pickups, especially health pickups, is turned way down, seemingly. That's exactly the opposite of what they should have done. Someone died. Sometimes you don't gotta do anything. Oh, there goes me. I still got an extra life for the game over. Would be moderately devastating, but also there's no resources. So I don't have a lot of options here. But to take what I am dealt. Spectre's ready to die. Grasshopper's always ready to die. See? That's a phantom remote bomb up there. It cannot be collected because the tractor beam has been destroyed. But it still spawns in periodically. If I get anywhere near collecting it, nothing happens. It just disappears. Spectre got killed by Hammerhead. I was doing a practice run recently, and one of these, like, shelves got destroyed by damage rather than a remote bomb. They're meant to be destructible via remote bomb. But interestingly, they can also be blown up with damage, it seems. If you are persistent enough. Still don't need to save. I won't be saving anywhere through here, but we have saves prepared for each level. Wisely so. They removed the water fountains. On the PlayStation version, you could actually just stand here and water fountains would lift you up towards the pickup. Here you gotta use the ramp. Thusly. Weird change. At first I thought it was just a graphical error due to the emulation, but no. They actually removed the lifting effect that the water fountains had. Okay, I've actually got weapons. We can napalm from point blank, which is very deadly. This is the main level where we are almost certainly not going to get any health refills to respawn throughout our time here. So what we use is just gone. And there are 4 health refills in the whole level, none of which are full health. This is, in many ways, inconvenient. We can point-blank remote bomb, because we are invincible for an incredibly long period of time. So very little is stopping us from doing that. And it does seem like maybe enemies are less aggressive with the free shots in this version. Like they toned it down. We'll see if I get infinite freezed. But that is a gigantic problem in the PlayStation version. And if they corrected that, I mean, that's a big deal. The absence of Pit Viper is always super weird. They replaced it with a vehicle that has a better gimmick, but worse design. They really needed to make Grasshopper better. And then they've tried to bring Pit Viper back so many times. And they just never actually pull the trigger. They get so close. And then change their mind right at the very end. See, I kind of miss Pit Viper. Grasshopper has more flavor and a better driver and all that. They could theoretically coexist. Nothing about being a dune buggy specifically makes Grasshopper able to jump around. So they could have made Grasshopper a unique vehicle, in my opinion. Two enemies left. There are a fair few health refills still available. I want to say the one in the Louvre sometimes doesn't spawn at all, or gets collected in advance or something. But for one reason or another, you just can't get it. This vehicle's probably fast enough to just leap over there. Without jumping. Yeah. Especially because apparently I just can't time a jump right now. The stream started late. I was doing moving-related stuff. Right up until 10 minutes after the stream started. I think Paris might be the only level without any full heals. That sounds about right. Yep, that didn't help. Thumper's not coming for me. Thumper's only dangerous if he approaches you, and he seems to have just turned his AI off. Just sitting there, waiting to die. Look like ghost missiles coming in through the walls to get me. Still getting me in midair. Nothing stops a ghost missile. Hopefully, I'm not even sure I can beat Spectre with 1 life right now. So I don't like my odds against all of Amazonia and then Minion. Here we go. That got him. Finally pinned him down. I would also have died myself, but you become invincible as soon as 0 enemies are left over. So my own death was literally impossible. Also, 4Loco just followed me, and is being very active in chat. That follow puts me at precisely 200, which grants me a new Twitch achievement. The ultimate reward. Thank you, 4Loco. So right here, there's no water in this little pool. No place to cool off from all this lava. Gotta feel bad for our many drivers here. Not sure why the game stuttered there. I assume that picked up on stream. The PC version has all sorts of weird effects. I couldn't get the music to work at all for a long time, and now it works just fine. I couldn't get the windowed version to work. Now the windowed version is the only one that works. Putting it full screen breaks it. Who knows? It's a miracle that it works at all. This was sort of dumped back in 1997. Promptly forgotten. Dug up many years later and made functional. Uh-oh. It's our chance to test if we'll get Infinite Frozen. They didn't have a lot of opportunities to follow that up with more free shots. I've noted how we can essentially be just invincible forever due to the ridiculous duration of our invincibility shield. Look at that sweet tooth head. Thing of beauty. Definitely was never meant to be seen so clearly. It's not strictly true that we can basically be invincible forever. It's clearly, I have died, I've been on the verge of death many times. And in each of those instances, I've been pretty much out of resources the whole time. This version's not as trivial as you might expect. It's definitely a lot easier than the PlayStation version, though. Yeah. Energy moves are performed in exactly the same manner as they are on PlayStation. Literally the exact same button inputs. I wanted to build a, macro for them. but they do require you to have a slight delay between all the inputs. That would end up being a fairly complicated macro. Far beyond anything I'm capable of doing. It is a little unclear why we have a sonic shield. It's just completely opaque. It's always possible that it's just a weird glitch due to the fact that modern rigs are not meant to be able to play this game. I'm using a controller, but it is set up to emulate PC controls. So basically my D-pad is pressing up, down, left, right on the keyboard in order to move me and do my energy moves. The full health was missing. A lot of these levels, they just do not put in the full health. I recall it still being present in this level, even on the PC version, but I can't remember and I can't test it right now. Clearly. Because it's gone and it probably ain't coming back. Yeah, classic Twisted Metal 2 issue. Went for that shield combo, nothing happening. Oh well. I had not made it very far into that level. Probably should have started again from the beginning. Load game. Hop right back in. Really, the lack of availability for weapons is devastating. It's always rough in the default game as well, but it really seems like they reduce the opportunity to grab weapons. They definitely remove some of the pickups. Not very many. But many levels have health refills removed. It's especially obvious in LA, where the full health area is just no longer accessible at all. I do have a chance here to go underground and see if the full health here exists at all. Just shoot this statue for a while. The other statue was intact, so there we go. And it is legitimately a full health refill. Beautiful. The very thin lightning bolts do not work very well with this game's graphical style when you smooth it all out like this. So the PC version, the lightning looks pretty bad. Those thin tendrils of lightning death, which also seem to do significantly reduce the damage. That's not a thing I can test, but normally, Outlaw's special in Twisted Metal 2 is pretty powerful. On the PC version, it's roughly equivalent to that of the taser in Twisted Metal 1, which is to say pathetic and virtually useless. Here it's excellent for finishing off extremely weak enemies that are very nearly dead anyway. Nope, Spectre didn't want to let me kill him. Had to jump in the lava, take himself out. The siren sound effect sounds the same to me. I don't know if maybe there's some distortion. It's still affected by the Doppler effect, which is very prevalent in Twisted Metal 3, still somewhat prevalent here. We'll hear it plenty more. Plenty more opportunities. Tell if it's different. Sliding all around these platforms. I mean, I have intermediate handling. It's not good enough. Napalms, save me. Getting slammed. They did not do so. He was going for an infinite slam combo, not an infinite freeze, where he chains grabs into each other. It's not really doable in this game. Probably the biggest flaw with Twisted Metal Head-On is that Slam can chain his special together very easily. The extra Twisted Edition makes it harder, but still something that the AI does very often, due to the fact that it has infinite uses of that special. And will attempt to use them infinite times consecutively. Still hard to control this level. I did get 2 napalms in a row there. Not sure why. The thing just respawned as I was grabbing it. I thought Roadkill was closer to death. Hoped Roadkill was closer to death. Like that. That's the sort of Roadkill I wanted to see. There we go. I finally landed on flat ground. Necessary to control your vehicle on this level. Okay, Evie agrees that the siren is distorted in a variety of ways. Hell, for all I know, all the sound is distorted on the stream. Can't say for sure. Maybe I've been using a voice changer this whole time. And it's coming through on all the audio. My voice would probably be way cooler if that were the case. Oh hey, minion. Gotta fight that one. Jamie Roberts is definitely way cooler than Carl Roberts. Carl Roberts is very bland. Now, minions should be more or less stuck there. Oh, one thing they let you do is use the shield input while you already have a shield active. It will not, like, double the duration of your shield. It will simply use up the energy that a shield requires and not affect the duration of your ongoing shield at all. So basically, you're just wasting energy if you do that. Notable because I just did that. You don't really want to do that against Minion. Minion, however, is having a real hard time navigating. Hey, I've been there, buddy. This level's rough. For some reason, yeah, they didn't fill the little ceremonial pool at the back of Amazonia. For the tiniest little people to swim in. Maybe Amazonia is supposed to be, like, inhabited by Lilliputians. Maybe it even is, and they're so small that from our vehicle's viewpoint, we cannot see them. Invisible to the naked eye. But they worship Sweet Tooth. That's all that matters. So the PlayStation version has a glitch. Warthog's special is supposed to deal more damage the closer you are to the target. However, if I'm not mistaken, it is inverted due to a programming error, and it deals more damage the further you are from the target. And I don't know if that was corrected or changed at all in this port. Perhaps it is still exactly like that. Dunno. I'm in no state to test it right now. The real test will be whether or not this pool, the pool that appears in this level, has any water in it. Because they took away our fountain, they took away our little pool in Amazonia, and in New York, my god, they drained the pool in the middle of a skyscraper. The Olympics are canceled. The greatest tragedy of all. And yeah, people are pointing out more and more that in the PlayStation version, there are a lot of transparent textures that are simply opaque in this variant. Perhaps they had to remove the water because it would have been just a solid brick of water. And that would have been really screwed up. That would make sense. That would be a valid reason for why they would have had to get rid of all the water in every level. Because it would have been blinding if you were anywhere near it. Just a theory. Just a thing I never realized before when playing this. Even though I played through this version multiple times now. But it is seeming like that's the case, and again, I don't know if it's the thing that the people who ported it did. Or if it's a thing that was native to the PC version and always has been. And Evie just pointed out how much of the skyline is missing. Normally there's quite a few textures out there that you can check out. But now we just have the Chrysler building floating in midair. I'm going to say that's probably a thing that was not an issue when this game was initially released in 1997 and was introduced by the porting process. Good thing that was pointed out, though. I never would have noticed that. There might be one of those glitches where the AI doesn't quite know how to navigate every area in the level. That only happened in the bonus levels on the PlayStation version. Because they were not programmed for the AI to drive in them. So the AI just gets lost. Hangs out all together in one corner. That might be what's happening here in this level on the PC port. Dunno. Some enemies have wandered around, but most of them have stuck to the huge platform where I normally do most of my combat. Twister's Tornado has no visual effect because... I mean, it has the visual effect of the vehicle spinning around. But, once again, normally the visual effect has a mild transparency to it. It's a series of sprites that encircle the vehicle itself. I know that because I have every sprite in this game ripped in a variety of folders, and I've made a lot of Twitch emotes out of them. If I recall correctly, the ground floor still has the cheat code to unlock Sweet Tooth, which does not work in this version of the game because it requires PlayStation controls, and this game is meant to be played with mouse and keyboard exclusively. I'm using a controller, but it has required heavy modification for that to be possible. Oh, hello, Spectre. Nice of you to stop by. For some reason, starting a level seems to have the most frame drops for me. Those are in-game, that is not the stream losing anything. I am seeing that just as everyone else is. In this game, you unlock Sweet Tooth by typing on the main menu, I believe. Glorious ice cream, if I recall correctly. Or rather, I think Glorious enables cheats. So that's like the master cheat. Until you type Glorious, you're not allowed to use any cheats whatsoever. And then Ice Cream unlocks Sweet Tooth. Hi, Santa. Oh, legitimately did not mean to kill him, but his hitbox was much, much larger than his sprite. Poor guy. Christmas is also cancelled. Soon, there will be nothing left to celebrate. Which is appropriate, because Twisted Monday's coming to an end. For the time being. Celebrations are over. It's all business. Now, this is a celebratory event. I am thrilled with how much of a success Twisted Monday has been. Obviously, it peaked with the marathon. God, I can't even believe how good the marathon went. I thought it was going to be a train wreck. 13 hours of Twisted Metal? How did that ever work? But it somehow had my highest viewership of any stream to date. Been downhill since then. But hopefully someday I get to the point where that is at least a repeatable thing. I can get that many viewers going. Oh, I'm getting Infinite Frozen. I almost thought maybe that freezing someone while they're already frozen would not increase the duration, because that's how shields work. But no. The rules of this game are powerless to help you, not hurt you. So you can still be frozen while you're frozen to double the duration. But you cannot shield while you're shielded to double that duration. Because that would just be ridiculous. Let's find where you're going. I'm trying to get good, like, knockbacks to send him over the side with the ricochets. But he was barely budging every time I hit him with a Rico. Weird. I did just learn about a bunch of, damn it all. A bunch of car combat games I'd never heard of. So, those would make for good, Twisted Monday bonus content fodder. And obviously I'm not going to play through them all today. Today we have a very specific car combat game planned for bonus content. What I've been meaning to do for a long time. So there are definitely things that could occur. God, there's a lot of Santas in this level. Things that could occur were Twisted Monday to continue. Another one down. 2 enemies left. Ricochets still seem to not work for whatever reason. Shadow's the only one left. We were at equivalent health meters. Santa's back. This is like the 5th Santa. This is a jolly place, Antarctica. Famously, where Santa is from. Always been in the South Pole. Riding his swimming reindeer. Away from every child in the world. It is very strange to consider what might have happened to Twisted Metal if Single Track hadn't been fired from the franchise. They're definitely still creative. They had a lot of ideas. They got weird after Twisted Metal 2. Critical Depth, which we're going to see later, was their follow-up. Critical Depth is very odd. We've seen Rogue Trip. Rogue Trip is close to being a disaster. Arguably just is a disaster. And then things got dire for them. The Animorphs PlayStation game is one of their famous train wrecks. And they also made a third-person shooter for the PC. I believe its gimmick was that it was third-person and you could switch to first-person. Play the whole game in first-person if you wanted. Like Elder Scrolls. So not much of a gimmick. That was called Outwars. And it was very, very poorly received. I want to say that was their last game or close to it. They made their Twisted Metal knockoffs. They made a Jet Moto knockoff. Jet Moto being their other big franchise. Which they were fired from. So they're better designers than 989. They're extremely good programmers. But they're so weird. Maybe they wouldn't have gotten as weird if they hadn't lost their franchise. Dude, it is stuck there, cranked out. Good, solid Twisted Metals. Who knows? We'll never know. Not in this timeline. Pretty much everyone is hurting, except for Hammerhead. Whoa. Okay, I've had that illusion before. The smoothness of the textures makes this texture in particular into a Magic Eye poster. I gotta avoid those spots. Single Track, they had two different franchises. A racing game and Twisted Metal. They never lost sight of Warhawk either. They brought back Warhawk many, many, many years later. Had a weird fixation with that game. That game is good, so... maybe they wanted to do it as not practically a launch title for the PlayStation. Another one down. Twister and Spectre. Surely I'll be able to kill them without any weapons. Yeah. So far, so good. Yeah, these days, if you're a game developer who can be known for one thing, you're doing pretty well for yourself. If you can be known for multiple things, then... hot damn. You are at the top of the game development scene. Oh boy, do I wish a shield would occur. That took like 5 tries. Using energy moves in this version is much more reliable on keyboard. On a controller, it's still a mess. Hey, final level. Let's just load that game. When you load a game, it automatically resets your inventory to its default state. Same with your life count. Okay, I lied. I started with 1 of every weapon. That is because I was using cheats to set up these safety saves. The cheats themselves do not save, thankfully. But in this one instance, the items that you were granted by the cheat, those persist. What a shame I had slightly more items than I was meant to. I think I need to hit the subway. Plenty of pickups in there. I know for a fact that the code for the hidden level is still on top of the subway car. I did a whole bunch of platforming to confirm that one time. There it is. You can slightly see it when I leap past the thing. Spider Slam is not a character in Twisted Metal. I guess I could try and install that mod. We'll see. I'm gonna have to get pretty desperate. I've got some ideas for some unique playthroughs of other Twisted Metal games, but I don't have to worry about that right now. I have to worry about moving everything I own many hundreds of miles at the cost of thousands of dollars. Someone made a unique version of Mr. Slam that has spider legs instead of wheels. Otherwise identical. But it does have animated spider legs made out of I-beams for its locomotion purposes. It looks quite cool. I've seen it in motion. I don't recall the animations being like top tier stuff. They were likely to break as you were doing all the ridiculous movement that you have to do in Twisted Metal. But even still, it's an amateur creation. It's cool that it exists. I think I have to kill the entire level and the boss, both bosses, without getting a game over here because there is no checkpoint between the level and the boss. They put up a big wooden fence instead of the typically transparent, like, mesh fence that's up there at the edge of the harbor. further indicating that apparently the PC version just couldn't do transparencies back in 1997. Hadn't noticed that for Twisted Metal 1, so I didn't think to check it when I played Twisted Metal 1 on the PC earlier this month. Well, that was embarrassing. Now he won't tell anybody what just happened to the both of us. Ah, these floor textures. They're more magic eye stuff. They'll blind you if you try to look at them. Yeah, I never really even considered if Twisted Metal 1 on the PlayStation has any transparent textures of any import. Clearly, Twisted Metal 2 has a lot of them. But the first game is very simple. It was really just a side project they were working on while they were making their passion project, Warhawk. I'm meaning to replay Warhawk too. My full playthrough reached an ending, but it was the worst possible ending where you just die to the final boss. That's not really an ending. And my gameplay was terrible. Because I hadn't practiced it. I haven't had any opportunities to practice anything. That's why I'm playing this game right now. I wanted to play a game I wouldn't have to practice. And Outlaw is a very easy character to beat the game with. Outlaw has solid armor, normally a good special. I didn't realize that this variant made the special worse. At least I perceive it as worse. Enemies definitely have higher health pools. So every weapon feels weaker. And that very obviously affects our special, which is already pretty weak. Enemies toasted. That went fairly well. Hope there isn't any dark tooths rising from any sewers nearby, because I did kill one of their sons. Hopefully no one finds out I've got a little clown boy in my car here. I've arrested Sweet Tooth. I didn't murder him. Trust me. Nice thing is we can just shield and run in. Try to beat up Darktooth. It's not the best idea in the world. Darktooth's pretty bouncy. So maybe I should retreat a little bit. Just slightly. At least amount one can retreat. Okay, the stutters are occurring alongside texture pop-ins. This suggests that they are stuttering because they're loading those textures into the game environment for the first time. And that is probably why the stuttering stops after a couple minutes within a level. Because by then, all the textures are in there. And you're all set. Uh-oh. So no infinite freezes. That's a good change. At least they didn't happen to me, but they happen in virtually every Twisted Metal 2 run I've ever had. So it does indicate a design choice that you will not get infinite frozen here. Hey! I killed him. But there's more where that came from. Gallagher is coming right for me. With flames shooting out of his head in every direction. It's very unclear how a vehicle that size emerged from sewers. I mean, I guess it's like an It thing. It probably was even directly inspired by Pennywise. That a clown would be bursting forth from the sewers, but... yeah, how do you get Darktooth out of a sewer grate? Pretty impressive there. Charlie Kane, we assume. Even though the driver of Darktooth is not named and could be just about anybody. With the last name Kane. There we go. The severed head. Very weak. Now we get our ultimate prize, which I believe will not get properly captured? No. Yeah, I didn't even press a button there. The game just skipped the ending cutscene. Obviously, that's unacceptable. I mean, it's the big follow-up to the Carl Roberts ending from Twisted Metal 1. This big, ongoing saga of the Outlaws. We will get to see that ending. I've got it prepared. That is definitely an emulation error. There are all the videos are in the game files, but they don't load properly. I tried to watch one of the endings off of the game itself in a previous stream where I played the PC version, and it simply showed a black screen for the entire duration of that cutscene. So yeah, I spliced it in post during that run. This time I am more prepared. Once there we go, see everyone involved with the game, we will mute the game and check out this ending. Who can predict what's going to happen to Outlaw 2 and the Roberts siblings?
Captain Roberts stepped out of the car and stood before me.
Last year, my brother won your contest, and you tricked him. You twisted his words and sent him spiraling into outer space. Now is my chance to save him. I am the winner, and as my prize, I demand that you let me see my brother!
I will be glad to grant your wish, my dear. I will let you see your brother.
No! Wait! What I meant to say was...
But it was too late. Her wish had been granted.
Hey, sis! I'm over here!
Oh my god, Buzz, I found you! I can't believe it, I found you!
Guess Calypso tricked you too, huh, sis? Now we're both stuck out here.
I don't think so. I've made some modifications to my patrol car. I planned on Calypso's little trick. These rocket boosters will carry us back. Next year, we'll enter Twisted Metal again and get our ultimate revenge on that burnt-faced freak.
No one told them there's no air in space. So, Wile E. Coyote style, they just, you know, hung out in space and successfully rescued a guy who's been floating around in a destroyed car for an entire year. No food, no water, no oxygen. Carl Roberts didn't even realize. He was just bored out there. Ready to get back home and do some violence in Twisted Metal 3 and Twisted Metal Head On. It's a weird ending. The continuations of it kind of make a little more sense, but ultimately no ending after the first game makes any sense. Because you can't continue these this series. Also, Jamie was prepared, turned her car into a spaceship so that she could get back home, even though she claimed not to know where her brother was. And it was supposed to be like an ironic punishment, but I guess she was one step ahead of Calypso. Knew that she was going to get sent to space. Made a spaceship in advance. So, speaking of space, and people who survive in space, and weird ships, this is a weird segue, but Critical Depth is coming up. Critical Depth is, in many ways, a spaceship game. And it certainly involves denizens of space. Aliens appear frequently throughout that story. So, let's, instead of watching this title screen loop over and over again, switch over to that in just a moment. For now, the final playthrough of Twisted Metal 2 is done. I completed all of Twisted Metals 1, 2, and Black, the core games of the series. The good ones. So if you haven't seen them, they've all been done. Check it out. And that was the final Twisted Monday for Season 1. Who knows what I'll do with it in the future. I certainly don't myself. Hope you've all enjoyed it. I have. Been quite the boon to me as a creator. And it's been real. The stream continues in just a moment. But for now, I am Fiendly, and I thank you for watching Twisted Monday.